Okay, here we are back. Same location, different recording technology this time because I want to share the screen with you, and Zoom is going to be sort of the easiest way to do that. So we're going to record this as a Zoom meeting with just me, which is maybe one of the saddest things in the world. But the important thing is this is the video in which I'm going to walk you through sort of getting started on the analysis of fake photoelectric effect data. That is going to be the second lab activity for this module of the course. So let me share the screen here so you can hopefully see what we're working with. So this here should be showing you the Nexus page for our module. This is in the student view. Somewhere way down here, there's going to be a link that says Photoelectric Data Activity. If you click on that, it should open up a shared Google Sheet that I've created that has the fake data in it. This file has a couple of things. There's some random noise added to this to make it a little bit more like doing a real experiment. And it's also, since it's shared with the entire class, it's also locked so you can't edit it. So the first thing you have to do is create a new blank spreadsheet. Just takes a second. And then go to the data, and you want to select all, which is Control-A on a Windows machine, copy that, and paste it into the new blank file. When you do this, actually, you want to paste this, go to Paste Special, Paste Values Only. That way, that will take out the random element so that the numbers you get will be slightly different from the numbers anybody else in the class has, but they're not going to change every time you do anything. So that's paste values only in the paste special menu here, or it's Control-Shift-V on a Windows machine if you like doing keyboard shortcuts. There are two worksheets in this, so I'm going to rename this one to match the names in the original file. You get to see how badly I type. And then I'm going to add a new worksheet and come back to the original file and copy the data in the second window. So select all, copy, go to my new spreadsheet, come in here and paste only the values. So now I have two worksheets in here that match the worksheets in the shared folder, in the shared file. I can close the window for the shared file and just work with the data that's my own copy. You know, you can call this whatever you like. Right, so I save this, and it'll be saved in my Google Drive. I can access it again later from there if I need to. Once you have this in here, there's a few things to notice. This is arranged, this is the electrons per second column. This is a lot of current measurements for several different wavelengths that are shown here. And so the lab handout will ask you to go through this file and make a bunch of measurements and look at these numbers that are in here and see if you see patterns in these numbers. Another thing you're going to need to be able to do with this is to make some graphs. This is one of the main ways that scientists communicate data to one another, and in particular show the patterns in data. It's a fabulous way of doing that. So let me walk you through a little bit of how to make the necessary kind of charts. If you look in the little collection of tools up at the top of the Google Sheets, you'll see over here an insert chart. If you click on that, it pops up a blank chart. What you want for the purposes of this lab, and almost everything that you would do in physics, you want a scatter chart is going to be the thing that you're interested in. And then we're going to want to plot things like the current the number of electrons per second as a function of intensity. To do that, you go down here to add series. This will let you select a range for the things that you're going to plot on the vertical axis. So I'm going to highlight this first column here and go like that. And then I can add an x-axis to correlate these with the values. So I select another data range here to be my horizontal axis. And when I do that, I have a graph that shows a nice pattern. Now this is the numbers for the current measured in this first column here. As a function of the intensity plotted along the horizontal axis, the intensity is the column is currently highlighted. To make these graphs look nice, right, I can double click on the axis and it gives me options to, for example, add minimum and maximum values. So if I want my horizontal axis to start at 0, I can make it do that, which shifts all this over. I can also add into this titles on the axes, which is something that you really need to do. So I want the horizontal axis title to be, this is the intensity. Intensity has units that are milliwatts per centimeter squared. It says that in the heading there. So I put that in there and that puts a label on that. And I can put a label on the vertical axis as well. That's current in micro amps. So now I have a graph with nice labeled axes. Another thing you're going to want to do with this is to make charts that include more than one data series. To do that, you can right-click on this, go to Data Range, and over here in the window where I was adding the x-axis and the data series, I can add a series. Right, so this lets me select another range, so I can pick, say, this second column here and add that to the chart, and it comes in with a slightly different color. It's taking the labels from the cells at the head of the column, and you can see that these are pretty similar, but not quite identical. And you know, this is a bit of a pointer toward one of the patterns that you're going to see as you analyze this data. So this is the basics of what you need to know and what you need to be able to do in order to use these Google Sheets to do these activities. So I will stop sharing the screen now. So this is the basics of what we're after in this particular activity. There is a detailed handout on Nexus that will step you through the analysis that you're supposed to do. It will help you hopefully identify some patterns in these, and at the end of the lab activity, you'll have a short quiz where you need to enter some text descriptions of the results that you saw. And there will be an assignment where you need to upload a document that's going to contain some graphs that you're going to make in the course of doing this. So you'll do both of those things. After you complete both of those things on Nexus, it will unlock another video in which I talk about how the patterns that you're seeing in this data led physicists to the understanding that we need to radically reform our understanding of the nature of light and start to think about light in terms of particles, not just waves. But for now, that's what you need to know to do this. There will be detailed instructions on Nexus, and you can, of course, you know, message me, Zoom me, and so on, and I'll help you as much as I can. So good luck, and we'll see you back here after you finish doing the lab activity.